children just being amazed at and
it just broadens their horizons.
It does.
We have kids come here from some of our poor communities, like Golden Gate and Immokalee, and they'll say, "Does that mean I could buy that?" And we tell them, "Yes, just like a TV or a car or anything. You can budget for it, and you can buy that, and you can enjoy it." And yeah, well, and that's the nice thing. I mean, there's different price points,
right?
And so sometimes it's based on the medium or the size, but you can get something that you really want, but less expensive.
And I know some of your artists. Hunt Slonem is a famous artist. Has been doing it for a long time. I've seen him in Architectural Digest and celebrities' homes and everything. But you also have some younger artists who are more affordable in your gallery. They're newer, and so they're not as well known. And I have some hopes of purchasing some of those as well someday.
Yeah, all of our artists have to be in a museum permanent collection to be in our gallery represented. So they're all established artists, but definitely they're not as well known. They're only in maybe 20 museums instead of 200 museums. They are more affordable. And then, like I said, the size and medium. And sometimes maybe you can't get the $100,000 one, but you can get the study for that, which is less than $1,000. So
and
there's
that's
other ways
amazing.
of doing things.
Yes, and I know one of the criteria for your gallery is that they can't have reproductions.
Right.
And I remember you explained it to me one time because it can eventually bring down the value of a piece. And I thought that was really interesting because I'd never thought of artwork that way before as an investment. And it truly can be. I mean, it's definitely, something some people use as an investment instead of the traditional ways like the stock market, the bank, things like that. So
typically when the stock market goes down, the art market goes up. But what I also think about art is that it's something that you don't really own. You just take care of for a little while, and then you pass it on to somebody else. And,
I like that idea.
And because our gallery being in business for 56 years, we unfortunately have seen clients pass away. And so art does sometimes come back to us. If they bought it from us, we will resell it for them, try to at least, and consign it back from the heirs if they're not able to keep it. Sometimes because of inheritance taxes, they have they can't sell this, but they can, it's an advantage that they can come back to us because we're still in business, knock on wood. That's why art is something that some people do buy with the intention of passing on to their children. They'll even ask their children or their grandchildren, "What do you think about this painting?" before they buy it. It's really fun to see the grandparents come in with their grandchildren, and the grandchildren say, "I like that one, Grandma," and it helps when they're between a couple of paintings too.
That's really nice. What is your favorite part of being a gallery owner? I mean, I've always heard about these trips going to visit artists, which I think sounds amazing, but what is your favorite part?
Going to the studios is always a lot of fun. I personally like hanging shows too, and I love hanging a work in somebody's home. I feel like that's the full circle. When you've gone from seeing a painting that was just, often artists aren't the best at exhibiting their own art. That's why there are galleries. So a lot of times when we go to a studio, the art, it's not stretched, it's not framed, it's not lit, obviously, and we're kind of going through piles of paintings to pick out, and we do cherry pick what we want, what we think will sell in the gallery, and all the work that you see in our gallery is work that we've selected as work that we like. So you're really kind of trusting our taste, and so it's hard for me to say, well, that's my favorite, because everything hanging is my favorite from the artist. But
I could actually see that.
To, see it hanging, and then it's fun if the artist is still alive, for them to, when they come and they see what I've hung. 6 months later or a few months later in season when they fly down here for the opening, and they'll say, "Wow, this looks so great," and that always makes me feel good. And then I love seeing it in somebody's home when it all comes together, and sometimes a painting will just change the look of an entire room. It brings it all together. Or the other paintings that they have can relate to the painting, whether it's the colors or the subject matter. And it's just really fun to see the painting find its home.
Yeah, I could see that. And I could see also where in some ways you have to have vision when you go to an artist studio and you're not seeing it in these beautiful frames and not stretched out. So
Yeah.
that definitely
It's
has a
definitely
creative side to you.
it's not something you can learn. It is maybe from exposure, but it is it's an eye for art, literally.
Naples is such a surreal and ridiculously beautiful place. You can step right outside your door and feel like you're in a car show. Even just seeing people go to the doctor downstairs. You deal with amazing artists and high-end collectors. So how do you stay so grounded? And I know part of it was your parents, I believe.
Yeah, my dad being an army brat and, you know, self-made man, we always were very grounded and appreciative of what we had and knew the value of a day's work. And it will be a challenge raising my son in this environment too. I think everyone that lives here faces that, but it is a beautiful place to live. And when I was a child, my parents sent me to the Conservancy of Southwest Florida here, and between that and the zoo and Rookery Bay, you get an appreciation for our nature and for the wildlife that we have here and what makes this a special place, why we have such this really paradise.
Yeah.
And I think that my son growing up here, he's going to have the benefit of not only a beautiful outdoors environment year-round to appreciate and explore, but also the cultural things to do here too, and all that there is to do. It's just a win-win for raising a family, really. You
And
just
it's
miss out on
small
snow. So we'll have to go up north so he can experience snow and leaves changing and everything.
So when was the first time you actually experienced snow? How old were you?
Probably about 5 or 6. We went up to Michigan in the wintertime explicitly to see it. My mom had family in Michigan, and so we drove up there in the wintertime just to experience it. We were fools that pulled off the interstate to stand on, like, it was really just freezing slush, but for us it was snow, so
yeah.
we were
And
really
it was
excited.
different than the Third Street South when they have the bubbles of
Yeah,
snow.
that's new. I mean, in the last 20 years maybe, and that is really fun. But yeah, it's not the foam snow.
Right.
Yeah, but we try, I think, and you know, we try with fall with the corn mazes and things, but you can't have expectations like it's going to be like it is up north. To have that experience, you really should just go for a long weekend up north to see fall color, to go through corn maze and have that whole experience. But there's a lot of other things you can do here and get to enjoy here in Southwest Florida that's unique to Southwest Florida and to growing up here.